Hi guys, Debbie here. Thank you for watching. Welcome to my channel and to today's video, which is part of my Debbie Does December. If you're not aware, I'm uploading it every other day in December. I'll link my playlist for you if you want to catch up with the other videos I've done so far. But for this one, we're going to be doing a little try on first impressions of this palette, which is the Spectrum Brushes Pantherine palette. Not seen too many people review this one and I was super keen to try it out. It's the first time I've tried the makeup from Spectrum, although I use their brushes a lot. So if you want to see me create this look that I'm wearing right now and also see the brushes and what I think of them, then please keep on watching. Okay guys, so this palette is the Pantherine palette. As I say, I picked it up from Spectrum's website in the UK. Came super quickly considering the time of year and how delayed the postage is. I think I ordered it on Sunday and it came on Saturday, so less than a week for it to arrive, which is really good. And it should have been £29.99, and then they do the eye brushes for £29.99, but you could just buy it as a bundle. But last Sunday they were doing the eye brushes, the face brushes and the palette all for half price, and I paid £47.50 for everything, so I was so excited to pick it up. So at the time of filming it is still available. You can buy the palette on its own, you can buy the palette with the eye brushes in a bundle, or you can buy the eye brushes and face brushes in a bundle, but I couldn't see the face brushes on their own. So if you wanted the face brushes as well, you'd need to buy them in a bundle with the eye brushes. But I'll link the site down below so you can take a look for yourself. But onto the palette then. It's vegan and cruelty free. It's in a beautiful packaging. It's like metal packaging, really luxe actually for the price I paid for it. I'm very impressed with that. And it's made in Italy, which is always an indicator of quality in my eyes. I've always had a good time with palettes made in Italy. I just think the formulations are always really good there. Inside though is a slip with the names. I'm not super keen on that. I guess it's better than them being on the back as a YouTuber because I have to keep turning it over. But I know if you're not a YouTuber, you're not that interested perhaps in the shade names in any case. But it's really luxurious packaging on the inside as well. And you've got mattes on the top row, the shimmers are all across the centre and then more mattes across the bottom. And it is predominantly a warm tone colour story, but you have got some cooler tones in there as well. So the shade there, which is called Cool Cat, is a lot cooler of a shade. And then the shade Pounce over here is like one of those mustardy kind of yellow shades, which is interesting. In my look today, I've gone more for the warm tones, so the shade Purr in the middle there, and the shimmer called Fierce. And then I've used this shade as well, which is called Whisker. So I've only really used 3 shades out of the palette today, but just wanted to try it and gather my thoughts on the formula and just let you know what I think of the formula for their eyeshadows. So the brushes, I'll just pop up some pictures of those on the screen for you. But they've got an eye brush set. And what interested me about the eye brushes is that there's a lot of small brushes in there. So you've got like a small packing brush, the A16 in there, which is super nice. You've also got a brush called the B11, and I don't think I owned this one before, but this one's very similar to the Morphe M506 in terms of shape. So if I take both of those together and show you, they're pretty much dupes for each other. I would say the Spectrum one's slightly fluffier, a little bit bigger, but not much in it. And you guys might know if you've been here before, the Morphe M506 is one of my absolute favourites. So to get another brush of that kind of shape was attractive to me. It's got one of those massive blending brushes. I don't use those very much. This is the B06, but I did use it in the look. And lastly, the only other one I've used from the set today is the A13, which is this one, which I used as a smudge brush, but you could use that as a packing brush as well. So they're the brushes I've used so far. I've not used the face ones in this video, but I will be using them in upcoming videos. But so let's hop into the tutorial. I've only done my eyes in the tutorial, so I'll just let you know what I'm wearing on my cheeks today. I've got the Clown blush palette from Lightly Makeup, and I've used the orange shade in there, which is the shade Contortion, which is this one here. And then for highlight, I've used the Disco Nights highlighter from Nomad Cosmetics from their Studio 54 line, which is super glitzy and beautiful, and it's the only orange highlight I think I own, so I thought that would look really pretty over the top of that blush, and I've used it kind of as a highlight come blush topper. So as I say, let's hop into the tutorial for the eye look, and then I'll catch up with you at the end to give you my final thoughts on the palette. Okay guys, so for today's look I want to do a halo eye. I really want to use this shade Pearl, and I want to use this shimmer Fierce, because I think they'll go really nicely together, and they're the two that sort of spoke to me when I looked at this palette. I'm going to use some of these tones as blending shades, probably steer away from the more mustardy shade and the more cool tone brown for this look, but they are beautiful additions that kind of make it a little bit more versatile. But yeah, definitely going to go in with this one, but I think I'm going to lay a transition down with this shade first, which is the shade Whisker. I love the names in this palette. So I'm going in with the B11 brush from Spectrum from this Pantherine collection, and I'm just going to take that shade from inner to outer corner just to lay a transition down. This is a really nice formula, I can tell already, because I've not got too much kick up in the pan. There's a little bit. It's quite a soft formula and it's really pigmented, which makes me happy because I wanted this to be good. I'm new to using Spectrum as a makeup brand. I've used their brushes for years, and there wasn't really anything colour story wise that spoke to me until this one came out. But I love warm tone eyeshadow. Haven't bought a warm tone palette in a long time, and I love dinky little palettes like this, like pocket sized palettes. So it ticked a lot of boxes. The packaging is beautiful, and the shades, as I say, are warm tone, and I was looking for something orangey toned. I think this is probably more so of a fall palette, which is when it came out. As I said in the intro, I picked this one up in the Black Friday sales, or just after Black Friday actually, because the sales seem to go on from the beginning of November to kind of Christmas once the Black Friday sales start, I think. But that has laid down super pigmented. I've not even really packed it, I've kind of just been blending as I'm going, and it's blending really nicely and it's really super pigmented, so off to a good start. As I say, I want this to be a halo or kind of spotlight eye, so we're going to go in with the shade Pearl next, and I'm going to lay that down in the outer and inner corners, and I'm going to use the A12 brush for that, which is this one here. It's kind of almost like a bullet brush. Another thing that appealed to me about these brushes is, whilst I've got a lot of Spectrum brushes, I've got I think 4 sets now, there's some different brushes in here that I don't have, so chance to add some small brushes to my collection in a brand that I know I get on with the brushes. And if you're looking for vegan and cruelty free but really good quality brushes, I don't think you can go wrong at all with Spectrum brushes. They're really, really good. So I'm just laying that down in the outer and inner corners. And I'll be going to the hairdressers in this look today, and they know I have a makeup channel, and quite often I go with completely a bare face because I don't tend to wear makeup very often unless I'm filming. But needed to get this filmed today because I want it to go up today, because I'm trying to do a video every other day in December, and I should have filmed this yesterday and I didn't, for lots of different reasons that I won't bore you with. But we've got to film this today, so they're going to see me in full makeup. But my hair is a bit of a disaster, so I can't wait to film the next video tomorrow with nice blonde hair again. It got cancelled. I should have been going to have it done, and then because of the pandemic and everything being locked down again, I couldn't go, so they cancelled it, and I'm going on a Sunday, which is an unusual day to go and get your hair done. I feel very sorry for the girls having to do it working on a Sunday, but I guess they just are happy to be able to work at the moment whenever they can. Right, going back into the original Whisker shade because I just want to use that just to help with that blend between the darker shade and this Whisker shade. And these are blending well. I'm just not very good at doing this blend in the inner part here. I always end up getting a bit of a line between the the two shades, whatever I do in this inner part here. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time trying to work that through, but they are blending really nicely. In the set there's a B06 brush, which is this one, and this is a bit like your Sigma E40. It's quite a big fat fluffy blending brush, but I'm just going to use that just to help diffuse the edges a little bit. I've got no product on it, just to create a nice fade on the edges of this look. It's happening really easily. This brush is massive compared to my eyes, but it works well for this purpose. Be good for like a pinpoint highlight as well. Sometimes that's what I use those sort of brushes for, because I prefer small brushes to do colourful eyeshadow looks anyway. I'm going to do my lower lash line next, and I'm going to go in with the shimmer at the end. So I'm going to use an oldie but goodie. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 liner in the shade Torch. One of my absolute favourites, and I don't use it nearly enough, and it's perfect, you might agree, for this kind of colours. I'm going to take that in my waterline and kind of on my lower lash line. And before that sets too much, I'm going to blend it out, and this is the Spectrum A12. I'm going to use that to blend out. I like to use a pencil like this on the lower lash line because it really gives the shadow something to stick to, and it makes it last way longer. I've got a fair few of these Urban Decay pencils, but this one's like on another level. It's so creamy and blendable. For years and years before I discovered the Linda Hallberg ones, these were my go-tos. I think I prefer the Linda Hallberg ones just a tad more, but this one, as I say, it's just perfect for what it is for this colour. So I'm going back in with that shade again that we started with in the crease, so the shade Whisker, and I'm going to very sparingly use that on my lower lash line just to blow out this pencil and just to kind of mesh everything together, connect up in the outer corner. I love this already. This is my kind of tones of eyeshadow. I love cool tones and I love warm tones. It's funny, but something sort of warm and cosy about a warm tone shadow. When I first started watching YouTube, warm tones were really the thing. Like everyone was into the Morphe 35O palette, which truly isn't that warm toned and that orange at all. This is way more orange. I ended up taking that down super low, but I'm not mad at it. I think it looks really pretty. So I'm just going to spend quite a bit of time just really blowing this out, creating a nice seamless blend there on the lower lash line. I'm going to go in with NYX Glitter Primer now and just prime just this centre part here where we've got no shadow at the moment. I'm going to take that quite high so that it goes into my crease. I just find it's a little bit more flattering on me if I take my shadows up a little bit higher. To pack the shadows on, I'm going in with the Spectrum A16 from the new set, which looks a great shape actually for doing a cut crease with. It's got that rounded shape that really helps you to do that, but I think it'll be great as a packing brush. And as I say, I'm going in with the Fierce shade from the palette, and I'm just going to pack that everywhere where we've got a gap there in the centre. That is such a pretty coppery tone. I've not worn these sort of coppery warm tones for the longest time. It's so pretty. Quite a creamy shimmer formula, and it is a shimmer rather than one of these like sparkly shades, but I really like it. It's got a lot of like glitz and wetness on the lids. It's shining really prettily, and I don't like too much glitter in my shimmers, if I'm honest. I hate that fallout from shimmers, so when they're wet look like this and quite reflective, then I think that's probably some of my favourite kind of shimmers. Just where we get to the edge of where that matte is, I just want to sort of try and feather that a little bit, so I'm going to drag it sort of downwards rather than across. I'm not the best at halo eyes, so. Okay guys, so that's the look to this point. Just going to hop off camera just for mascara, a few finishing touches, and then I'll be back with you to show you the finished look and just wrap up my thoughts on what I think of the palette so far. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. You saw it in the intro. I finished it off just using some Epic ink liner by NYX just to create a bit of a jumbo wing. It got bigger and bigger. It was a difficult wing day today, so it's covered a little bit of like the darker shadow from my halo eye, but I'm not mad at it. I think it looks pretty still. And in my inner corner, I've gone in with Ray Rider from Kaleidos Makeup, just to like brighten up my inner corner and as a brow bone highlight. So my thoughts then on the products I've used today. Well, I didn't use the face brushes, but I know that Spectrum have amazing quality brushes, so I will be using those in a forthcoming video, but let's focus on the eye brushes. So the eye brushes I thought were fantastic, as they usually are from Spectrum. They're always really good quality. They're super soft. They're not animal hair, so if you're wanting a synthetic brush that's really soft, that blends really well, I think you can't go wrong with Spectrum. And they last really well. They wash well. I've got the smoke brushes from them. I've had them about 3 years. I got them at a clothes show live. Yeah, it's got to be 3 years ago because they've not done that in a long time. So yeah, and I'm still using those brushes now and they're still perfect. So really good quality and excellent brushes. And as I said in the intro, I think this one's going to be my most used. So the B11, which is very much like the Morphe 506, M506. Onto the palette then, which is the most exciting part, I guess. I love the warm tones in here, and I love that it's not just a warm tone palette that's kind of a one-trick pony. You know, you're going to get a warm tone look out of this, whatever you do, but there is a little bit of coolness in there with that cool cat shade. You've got that mustardy shade called Pounce in there. And then the shimmers, you've got one that's sort of a bit more rose gold, the Fierce one, which I used today, but then you've got corresponding ones that are either sort of a bit more goldy or a bit more cool toned. So that one's called Wild and that one's called Gaze. I just love all of the names as well. They've gone with the theme, they've just taken the theme and run with it. The shadows are super buttery, like the matte shades are like that creamy sort of formula that's not too kick-uppy but is ultra pigmented to use. You don't get a lot of fallout. They build really, really well, but they blend well as well, which I think is just the perfect combination in my eyes. So really, really happy with them. The shimmer shades, if you like those sort of shimmers that have got lots of duochrome or multi-reflective kind of glitter particles, they're not that, they're a shimmer shade, but they're ultra kind of glitzy on the eyes. They're kind of wet look on the eyes. There was practically no fallout. I always use NYX glitter primer to amp up my shimmer shades, and so I did the same in this look. But yeah, they go on super smooth, no fallout, and really shiny and wet looking on the lid. I'm really happy with this palette, really, really happy. The other thing I love about this palette is the size of it as well. And just for comparison, I've got the Star Wars Mandalorian palette, which is a dinky little palette anyway, but it's smaller than that, so it fits inside that. It's super cute and small, and I think for someone like me that's got lots of eyeshadow, smaller palettes like this are where it's at. I don't want massive palettes that are difficult to store really, and the packaging is very similar, I think, to the NARS Wanted palettes. You know, it's that gold kind of really sturdy kind of packaging. There's nothing plasticky about it. It's metal, or it feels like metal. It probably is plastic, but it feels solid, you know. So I'm super, super impressed. I can't wait to see if they bring out anything else in this format. But yeah, 100% recommend if you're looking for a warm toned palette that doesn't cost the earth, with really nice packaging, a really nice theme to it, nice shimmers and really blendable mattes. I don't think you can go far wrong, particularly if you can get a deal on it. So as I say, keep your eye out on their site. They do have some really good sales on the Spectrum site. I've ordered them from them a number of times and got brushes before at really good prices. So that's my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed watching. You'll have to let me know if you've tried anything from Spectrum. Do you use their brushes? Have you tried any of their eyeshadow palettes? I know they're available on Beauty Bay as well. This one hasn't come to Beauty Bay, but they have got eyeshadow palettes there. So I'd be interested to know if you guys have ever tried anything from the brand. Well, that wraps up today's video. If you're new to my channel and you've enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you consider subscribing before you go. Hit that like button because it helps me out, and also turn on that notification bell so that you know about my future uploads, because I've heard from a couple of people they're not getting informed when I'm uploading, which is super frustrating. So yeah, if you want to see all the videos, as I say, make sure you've got that bell notification on. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.